Hi, and welcome to this Getting Started tutorial for Pano2VR. In this video, we'll build a simple interactive tour from a handful of panoramas. So let's get started. Let's build a tour using the project wizard. In this welcome screen, I'll click New Project to open the project wizard. And now I'm prompted to add panoramas. So I have a few here, and I'll select them and then I'll drag them in. These are equirectangular panoramas in a 2:1 aspect ratio. And if you're new to this, that's the standard format for full spherical panoramas. You can also drag in 3D models, Gaussian splats, and video panoramas, whatever you want your tour nodes to be. Next, I'm asked to select a skin. Pano2VR includes multiple default skins, and you can preview them all here. These are pre-made interactive user interfaces for your tour, and they're free to use. So I'll choose the Netto skin, and then I'll click Continue. Next, I can configure the skin, and this is where you can make quick changes to the skin without opening the full skin editor where these skins are built. So I'll set an accent color that matches the images a bit better, and I'll leave the rest of the options at their defaults. Finally, I'll generate the output, and this builds the tour so we can preview it immediately in our default browser. But first, I have to save the project. And here's the fully interactive tour. It's important to note that this is not online yet. It's running locally on your computer, so you can quickly preview the project while you're working on it. So I could be finished with this as it is, but I have other elements I'd like to add to the tour, and plus I want to change these repeating menu titles. So back in Pano2VR, down here in the tour browser, I see my tour nodes, and when I select a node, its properties show up here in this panel on the left. I'll open the user data, and here I'll edit the title, which is what's appearing as the menu title. And now I'll give each node a unique title. And here's a tip. You can quickly move through the nodes using the keyboard shortcuts Command bracket on Mac or Control bracket on Windows. And here's another tip. Pano2VR has a lot of keyboard shortcuts, and you'll find them in Pano2VR's settings. You can also add your own shortcuts. And now is a great time to save the project. I'll switch back to the browser and check the menu. And now the titles look better. Next, I want to control the starting view for each panorama. This is the default view, and it's what you see when you enter a node from things like the menu or thumbnails. So anything where you're not arriving to the node through a node hotspot. I'll frame a nice starting view in the viewer, and then I'll set it as the default view. And you can do this by right-clicking directly in the viewer and choosing Set Default View, or by using the keyboard shortcut Command-U on Mac or Control-U on Windows. I'll repeat that for the rest of the nodes. Now let's turn this into a true interactive tour with hotspots that move you between the panoramas. You might already see some bullseye-style markers in the viewer here. And those are called ghost hotspots, and they indicate the node's location. And in this case, these panoramas have location data embedded in the image. Now I'll have Pano2VR automatically link the nodes together here in the tour map. I'll go to Linking Options and choose Automatic Linking, Closest Nodes. Pano2VR generates the links and creates the point hotspots. And this is another good time to save the project. And by the way, Pano2VR backs up your project automatically. So if you do forget to save and something goes wrong, you can always find your last saved project here in the settings. Now back in the browser, I see a hotspot, and when I click it, I move to the next panorama. And the views are different from the default views that we set. And again, that's because the default view is for entering a node through a menu or other entry, and a target view is the view you see when you're coming from a hotspot. The target view is set to forward, and Pano2VR knows which direction forward is because the images have location information. Next, I want a map in the tour so viewers can orient themselves. To do that, I'll go to the Tour Map panel and I'll choose Add Map. And for the map source, I'll use OpenStreetMap, and I'll leave the settings at their defaults. And now in the browser, I see a map icon in the skin. When I click it, there's the interactive map with my nodes. Now let's add some content. In the viewer, I'll make sure I'm in point hotspot mode. When viewing panoramas in the viewer, we have multiple modes to choose from: point hotspots, polygon hotspots, sound, images, videos, lens flares, and even web embeds. And whatever you add, it gets pinned to the panorama, meaning it'll spin with the panorama. So I have a PDF file I want to add as a pop-up that's triggered by a point hotspot. And all I need to do is drag the PDF into the viewer, and Pano2VR automatically creates a point hotspot and recognizes it as a PDF. I'll give it a title, About the Piermont Bridge. And I could also give it a start page, but I'll leave the settings at their defaults. And I'll save the project. In the preview, I see the PDF icon, and when I click it, the PDF opens as a pop-up. Next, I'll add a video pop-up. I'll take a YouTube URL and drag it into the viewer. Pano2VR recognizes it as a YouTube video and pulls in the title automatically. I'll save, and then I'll check the preview. And because YouTube videos include audio, the browser requires user interaction for audio playback. So you may see an audio control like this appear in the skin when audio is detected in the project. All of these interface graphics and their interactions are produced by the skin. And Pano2VR's default skins support all the different types of point hotspots and includes the graphics for the pop-ups. And now, after adding content, I'm realizing the skin doesn't feel like the best match for this project, so I'll go and swap it out. In the output panel, there's a skin chooser similar to what we saw in the project wizard. And I'll choose Coranta. The project automatically updates, and in the browser, I see a different UI style, navigation arrows, thumbnails, and a cleaner look. The video still works. The PDF still works. Only the UI changed. And now I'll configure the skin. I'll switch the theme from light to dark, and I'll change the icon style to rounded corners. And yeah, I like the dark theme better. So now that the tour is finished, let's talk about delivery. Right now, we're previewing the project via the local host. That means it's only on your computer using Pano2VR's integrated web server. So if you want to put the project online so you could share it with others, you'd first need to put it on a web server. So in the output settings, I can directly open the output folder. And inside are all the files that Pano2VR generated. So to publish your project, upload this entire output folder to your web server and link to the HTML file. If you need an offline version, you can create a Gnome package, and this bundles the tour into a single package file that can be viewed with the package viewer. Now, if you don't have your own web hosting, you can upload directly to our hosting service, Gnome Cloud, and then use the cloud browser to get a share link, an embed code, or a QR code. And that's it for this getting started tutorial. If you're looking for more, check our documentation pages, the forums, and of course our video channels on YouTube and Vimeo. Thanks for watching.